Welcome to Hancock's VMware Half Hour. And welcome back to another Hancock's VMware Half Hour. Okay, well, if you've been following me on Hancock's VMware Half Hour in the last few weeks, you will notice that we've been obsessed with the Minis Forum MS-A2. Anyway, going to put it to rest for the moment. I'm going to put that to one side. And we're going to jump back to VCF 9. Now I did a video how to deploy, install and configure VCF 9 installer. There were a number of people that asked could I do a video and show them how to create an offline repo, and I did create all those videos, and I then stopped because I actually thought to myself that without the use of a token, a download token that you need to generate at Broadcom, and those tokens are based on your entitlement, and to get the title right of the tool, to use the VCF download tool or the VCF DT tool, it needs a valid token to download all the information from the Broadcom portal, including the important offline depot metadata, and also all the ISOs and all the OVAs. So without that token, you're stuffed. You can't really move forward using the VCF 9 installer. Anyway, last week, on July 30th, 2025, Broadcom finally released the VCF offline depot metadata. Now, with the VCF offline depot metadata and the ISOs and the OVAs that you can pull, again, if entitled, from the Broadcom portal, you can now set up an offline depot. So, in this part of probably 3 videos that I'm going to do today, we're going to use our Synology NAS in the lab, and we're going to utilize the Webstation package. If you're not already using the Webstation package on your Synology NAS, then I can show you how to do that. So we install the Webstation package on our Synology NAS. We're also going to install the Apache 2.4 engine as well. And we're going to use the offline depot that I've already downloaded. We're going to upload the offline depot. We're going to add a couple of files to the prod folder, and I'll show you all this. The first file is the .htaccess file, and the other file is a .htpasswd file. This actually allows us to complete basic authentication, which is required by the SDDC manager or the VCF installer, depending upon what mode it's actually operating in. So without further ado, I'm going to go to the package center on my Synology NAS. Now, the quickest way to find the web package is just to type web followed by enter. I often keep forgetting to hit enter. I almost think this can do a quick search if I just type web in. But anyway, so type in web followed by enter, and I'm then going to click install. It shouldn't take very long. These packages are quite small. So there we go. That's installed. I'm going to open the Webstation package. The status page shows available packages for website hosting, because we do need to change from the default, which is Nginx, to Apache 2.4. So I'm actually going to say do not show that again, followed by OK. And the quickest way, we want Apache HTTP server 2.4. That's what the VCF installer or the SDDC manager is actually expecting. So I'm going to click that, and I'm going to click install on that as well. And then I'm going to do some quick confirmation configuration changes So that is now running. So I'm going to big X out of that. I'm going to go back here. Now I'm hoping that I've had a few comments that people basically are complaining that they can't view my screen. I find it a bit strange because I watch all these videos back actually, and I watch them all back on my TV to check. And personally, I don't have any problem. But anyway, I found a Zoom plugin. Hopefully this will make things a little bit easier for you to follow, and I'll slow down as well. So web service portal, I want to click edit, and I want to change that to Apache HTTP4 Server 2.4. I want to click enable personal website, HTTP backend, Apache HTTP Server 2.4, followed by save. Now, those, I think, are all the changes that I need to do, but we'll see. So I'm going to big X out of that. The next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to go to Filestation, and I'm going to go to web, because this is where our web portal or files are going to be served from. Now I'm going to upload and skip, and I'm going to upload the VCF 9 metadata. So I'm just going to do that. And the other thing I'm going to do as well is I'm actually going to extract it using the tools I've got. So I'm going to say extract here. And that's actually going to create the prod folder. And if we actually have a little look in that folder, there's a comp, there's the metadata, there's vSAN. And if we actually basically dig down into, now these folders here are where you are going to have to populate the ISOs and the OVAs that you download separately. And I'll do that. We'll test this out, and then we'll do another test where we actually basically configure it, and we actually basically download, and we'll have to populate those files. Now, if we were using the VCF download tool, then the VCF DT, which needs again a valid token, it not only downloads the metadata, it also downloads all the files that are required by the VCF installer, either for VVF or VCF. So that's one of the benefits really of using that VCF download tool, that it will actually basically download all the files for you at once. If you don't have the ability to use that, then you can effectively download the metadata separately, that zip file that I've just done, upload it to your web server, in this case our web folder, unzip it, then go back to the Broadcom portal and download all those OVAs and ISOs separately, and basically download them and populate them to the various folders there. Okay, so there's a couple of other files that I need as well. And if we go, I'll tell you what, if I go back to my desktop a minute, so I'm going to go back to my desktop, and I'm going to open up the first file. We'll edit that with Notepad. Let's just zoom in on again on that. So our .htaccess file, now I know there that it's got .htaccess.txt. It's a text file, but I'll upload that to our NAS, our Synology NAS, and I'll rename that file. But this is the content that you need. Auth type basic, auth name, in quotes, restricted area, auth user file, the location where the htpasswd file is going to be located. Now, the htpasswd file, you can either use a Linux distro to generate that, or you can use you can use a website online basically to generate that file or that password for you. Require valid-user options plus indexes. So that's the htaccess.txt file. Let's just big X out of that, and I'll show you my htaccess file. I'm going to need problems about showing you this, because basically the password is just VCF The username is VCF and the password is VCF. So that's what the htpasswd file looks like as well. So those are my two files, and I'm going to go back to my Synology NAS. I'll just zoom in again, and these need to be in the prod folder. So I'm going to click upload and skip, and I'm going to find them on my desktop. So there's my htaccess file and my htpasswd file, and I'm going to click OK. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to rename them. So I'm just going to knock off the txt followed by OK, and I'm going to rename that one as well. So I believe that I've done everything that I need to set up the basics of our VCF offline depot. So let's just go back to my browser, and this will be the real test, because vcf-depot-cyrus-consultants.co.uk/prod, and I'm going to use HTTP here. I'm not going to use HTTPS. So let's just have a little look. http://vcf-depot-cyrus-consultants.co.uk/prod. Now, hopefully, fingers crossed. There we go. There's the challenge response. Let's zoom in on that. So that was VCF. Our password was VCF, followed by sign in. And that is actually basically showing the index of prod. So that actually shows us that we've now configured my Synology NAS here in the lab to act as an offline repo. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to our VCF installer. So I'm logged in on our SDDC manager or our VMware Cloud Foundation installer, whichever mode that it's actually in. I know it's a little bit confusing. So I'm going to click Depot Settings and Binary Management. Now, before in the last video, or it was the third video that I did on VCF, you may remember that I basically did configure here. I put in the download token and I hit download and it populated it all. So we're going to create an offline depot. So here I'm going to put in our FQDN, which if I go back up and cheat and just copy here, go back to VCF installer. Okay, I'm just obviously going to get rid of the HTTP. Going to get rid of that. I'm going to put in port 80. I'm going to put in the username VCF, and I'm going to put in the password VCF. And I'm hoping this time when I click configure, what's actually going to happen, it's going to pass the metadata and it's going to be added to our offline depot. So let's just click configure, persisting data, and voila, our offline depot has been added. So that's it. Now, if I was to go down here and click VCF Foundation and do download, now because we've not actually basically populated it yet, we are going to get an error message there most definitely. So if I select download, it's going to come back with an error message most definitely. When it wakes up, when it actually basically says schedule, it's not going to get anywhere because I've not actually basically uploaded SDDC Manager, VMware Cloud Foundation, or VMware vCenter Server. In fact, actually, I think it's not done anything at all. So yeah, there we go, failed. I was expecting that because we've not actually basically uploaded those files. So what I am going to do, I'm going to go off and I'm going to populate our NAS, our Synology NAS, and hit the download button just to actually basically demonstrate that this is actually a working offline depot. Give me a moment, and by the magic of video editing, we'll be back in a second. So I've now populated the directory structure within our depot, and I can just quickly show you what that looks like. I'll just zoom in. Okay, so if we have a little look in NX_T manager, then we can see we've got the various files that we need. SDDC manager, I think the total is about 80 gig, something like that. vCenter, of course, is in there, and the ops proxy, VRA, VROPS, LCM. So now going back to our VCF installer that we've already connected previously, we should now be able to, just like we've done previously, if I select Cloud Foundation and I select download, and I then click the download button, hopefully this time we should actually start to see some percentage downloads rather than it say failed. And it's currently saying VMware Cloud Foundation in progress, download status in progress, in progress, in progress. The other 4 are scheduled. So that's it. Okay, so in this video, in Hancock's VMware half hour, I've showed you how to easily use the Webstation function, or the Apache 2.4 function, if you'd rather call it that, to turn your Synology NAS into an offline depot using the offline depot metadata that is now available to be downloaded from the Broadcom portal. However, of course, if you have the ability to generate a download token, then you can still use the VCF tool with the token to download the complete repo, including the metadata, to create your own VCF offline depot in exactly the same way on your Synology NAS. Anyway, so thanks very much for watching another video from Hancock's VMware half hour. If you like this video, then please give a thumbs up and a like. If you don't like it, then please give it a thumbs down and tell me why in the description that you don't like it. If you have any questions about creating an offline depot, or need some questions answering, or I've gone too fast, then drop them in the comments as well. Don't forget to subscribe and share, and come back for another video from Hancock's VMware half hour on VCF, where we're going to do a very quick video in the next part, again creating an offline depot, but we're going to do it for those of you that don't have access to Synology NAS. Anyway, so thanks very much for watching, and good night and goodbye from me. Bye bye now.